Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Shana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. I hope all is well. Welcome. All right. Let's just jump right into this. No periodic table, no alien talk. All right. This is your first time tuning in. Hello, hi, welcome. Thank you. All right. I thought I was going to actually go over something else, but the creator just gave me the go ahead to go a little bit into a little bit of my situation. I think now is the time to explain the cover for the podcast, and just give a little bit of background. I mean, we've done maybe 3 or 4 segments where I've went into a little bit about my spiritual journey and how a lot of things manifested early on. So, I talked about speaking in tongues when I was younger, yada, yada, yada. I don't really want to talk about all the things I talked about before, but just in case this is your first time tuning in, we had a few conversations about that, all right? About how I spoke in tongues when I was 9 years old, how a lot of spiritual things happened to me, and I come from a spiritual background, all that good stuff, right? So, okay, there's a spirit, one of the earlier spirits, because I think when we talk about spirituality, when we are very spiritual, we sometimes only talk about what it looks like on the physical side, right? How it shows up and manifests itself in this realm. We maybe sometimes talk about our dreams and our feelings and the things that we may sense, but rarely, as a culture, as a group, right? As a collective, rarely do we go into the things that might be the cause, right? We always talk about how it shows up, like I said, and how it appears on the surface. And to the naked eye, a lot of these things that are happening as a result of magic and backfiring magic and curses and hexes and spells and voodoo, whatever. Okay. Not to mention that the creator allows this stuff to happen. We have to always make sure we make room for that consideration. We have to always keep that in the pocket. That's very important for any spiritual occurrence, okay? Because if he doesn't want it to happen to you, he will not allow it to happen. No one is stronger than the creator, okay? So if someone is attacking you in any kind of way, the creator is allowing it to happen for some reason. And it's usually something that's going to benefit you or someone connected to you in the end, all right? Always keep that in your back pocket. But, yeah, so in the interim, there's this spell, one of the earlier spells that was put on me. Okay, so I have bad breath. It's been doing really good lately. I've been doing good, actually. I've been getting it together. But it was actually one of the earlier spells or curses that was placed on me. Actually, it's connected. And I'm not going to get into who put spells on me when I was a kid. People actually do spiritually attack children. You would be surprised, okay? It's really some savages out there. But yeah, so it's actually a curse that is attached to my bloodline, and a lot of on both sides, actually. So I have, remember we talked about all these curses, right? You could put a spell on someone and it can show up as anything, right? So for me, because I was constantly being attacked as a child, bad breath was one of the symptoms, right? Some people have bad body odor. Some people get headaches. And this can be a curse that's passed through the bloodline, like a spirit an energy, or it could be a hex that someone threw on you, right? It could be someone doing voodoo. So it just depends on the scenario. But however you want to, slice the cookie, it's definitely all up related to the spiritual realm, right? If it's not like regular life, everyday stuff. I mean, if you can even go to the doctor and find a reason or a cause, and you know that it's not a spiritual thing. I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. But if you know that it's not, then, if it's something hereditary, it's a curse, okay? I mean, that's something that we call hereditary for scientific reasons. But spiritually speaking, it's a curse, okay? Especially if it's something that is lowering the essence or the life force of the bloodline. If it is increasing the bloodline, if it is a part of the higher frequency of the bloodline, if it is moving the bloodline in the direction that the creator wants it to go, it's not bad, even if it looks bad, right? But okay, so there's some who are illiterate. Like, these curses and hexes can manifest in different ways depending on the spirit, depending on the journey, okay? Now, when I was a teenager, my boyfriend at the time knocked my tooth out, and being able to leave that situation with just a missing tooth and, just some couple of other physical things that have changed because of fighting, physical altercations. But spiritually speaking, it was something that was supposed to defeat me and keep me in a certain situation and keep me spiritually bound, okay? So that picture was like a aha, like a taunt type of thing to say, was this the best you could do? Like, I made it out of that situation. I'm stronger than that situation. It made me a smarter person, even as a child. And it's one of those moments where I was able to look at myself and see growth, right? So that's that. I think the irony of, because our body is our temple, it's our house, your portals are entryways, okay? They're entryways to your house. So to have a spirit placed on me that causes me to have an odor, it's embarrassing, but it's not embarrassing to people who know why, and it's not, embarrassing simply because I know why, and because I know that it's a situation that can be changed. Let me just put it like that, okay? But the irony of having a missing tooth and already having a situation with a bad odor is what, again, it's like, it's the best you can do. What else can you bring to my threshold that you think can break me down? And this is how these things come up physically. I actually got the tooth knocked out when I was 16, and it was put back in, and I formed an abscess, and I could have died, is what the dentist told me. It was an abscess up there, and when he pulled the tooth out, it stinks so bad. I told people this story before, but I never told it on the potty, right? So this whole segment is for, one, the creator wants me to, because I don't know who asked or who's new and who wants to hear the story behind the picture. So that's the story behind the picture. That's number one. And number two, it's a spiritual situation. That's why I decided to use that picture as, the cover for the station because it's one of those things that allows anyone who knows the story to be able to see that, the presence of God is in fact for real, because they too would be able to gauge the growth. Maybe they don't know all of it, but they know that time up until now. You get what I'm saying? So that was the whole premise of that. That's been the cover since the day one. I was thinking about changing it, like I said that I would. I spoke to some people and they were like, oh, it's kind of raunchy. And I was like, yeah, it is raunchy. But I'm like raw, I'm not raunchy, but I'm like raw. The picture may be raunchy, but I'm kind of raw, So if it bothers you, just probably try not to look at it type of situation, right? The whole premise of this conversation is to become aware of where we fit in the grand scheme of our own spiritual journey, right? Where does our journey allow the environment around us? And I mean the environments in every facet of the word, meaning your physical environment where you're in, the timeline that you're on. I mean, how you're just still so connected to people that you've never physically met, whether they're your ancestors or they're just sharing this earthly plane with you, right? Those are all different facets of the journey, of your spiritual journey, right? Your existence. Your entire existence is coexisting with a bunch of people that you'll never physically meet. And you are thriving in the world with them at the same time. So you have to understand that this reality that we have is just one version of a reality, okay? So we have to make sure that we are fully aware of the things that, keep us in situations, so we don't get too caught up, right? So we don't get too caught up. It keeps us grounded, because when you are remembering situations that even led you to your spiritual journey, things that are telling signs that God is involved in your life and He loves you and you are protected, right? And I don't even want to say you have a purpose, because we all have a purpose, right? Someone told me that, we were talking, his baby died. He had a baby that was about 7 months that passed away. And we were just having a conversation. And like, how do you tell a person who has lost an infant that their baby's life had a purpose? You get what I'm saying? That child had a purpose for this timeline in this dimension, even though the life hadn't even been sustained for a long period of time. So that's why I said I didn't want to say that, because we all have a purpose, and sometimes it's ugly. It looks ugly on the surface, and a lot of people that are connected to you are also hurt. Their lives are also changed when you have a situation going on and it's, a negative frequency attached to it. Even when the good is coming out of it, okay? So yeah, the gist of this, I guess, was to explain the picture to some people, and to also go into the manifestations of, spell work and backfirings, and how sometimes things can manifest as one thing, even though the intentions are for something else. They'll just come out as something else. Usually God wants you to work on that area if it's manifesting and showing up as that, right? Like if they want you to die and you just catch a cold, like maybe God just wants you to take care of your immune system, something like that. All right. But I'm going to end it here. I do love y'all. I hope you have been drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea, because it's most definitely free. All right. Love y'all. Peace.